On today's Primetime local news, Lloydminster fire crews battle an early morning blaze in West Lloydminster. And healthcare in the border city is under the microscope as a community meeting is taking place next week. Plus, Lakeland Wrestlers student athletes are ready for their upcoming seasons.
Prime Time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
I'm Jace Mackey. Welcome to Primetime Local News. A smoky early morning wake-up call for residents west of downtown Lloydminster as fire crews battled a blaze this morning. At 4 a.m., a fire broke out roughly between 53rd Ave and 51st Street, causing significant damage to the Border Plumbing building. The scene drew in over 20 firefighters to fight the flames. No injuries occurred on site. However, a firefighter was treated and released on scene. Fire trucks cleared out around 10:30 a.m. with fire chiefs and police still on site as of noon today. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Access to healthcare in Lloydminster is always a hot topic, and next week residents will have a chance to voice their concerns to health officials. I'm joined today here on Primetime Local News by Paul Richer. Paul, thanks for coming in today to talk with us.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, so we're talking about there's going to be a community health meeting that's being put on by the Lloydminster District Health Advisory Council. Just talk to us a little bit about this is taking place on September 7th, so tell us a little bit about what people can expect from this meeting.
Well, this is our second invite for the community. We're talking not just Lloydminster, we're talking the region, because we represent at least 80 kilometers away, or a full circle, if you will. Yeah. So we represent a big area, and being a border city. We are doing this to invite Saskatchewan Health, who looks after the interest of health in all of the city, much like the schools. But Alberta, of course, is a partner because they finance the Alberta portion, yeah. People from there. So we're doing that on September the 7th, as you said, and so our part with advocacy is as much as we can. Now we need the public to advocate by just showing up.
Now, you said this was the second time you've done this. You're going to have people from the SHA and from Alberta Health there. You said, though, before we started that the format's going to be a little different. Now people are going to there's going to be a Q&A, so people are going to be able to ask their questions in kind of a group setting and hear from those officials. Yeah,
the format is basically the doors are open at 6:30 and the program will start at 7, so because we don't want to go too late. And we'll do introductions to everyone that's there, and we have some big names in the SHA and AHS management. And after the introductions, the Saskatchewan Health people, jointly with Alberta Health, will do a presentation about the things that are doing in this region. I've asked that it's not province-wide items, but rather things that affect our area specifically. Yeah. And we have a variety of subjects that are there. And then we'll roll into a question and answer. Now the questions and answers will be predetermined ahead of time, or there'll be opportunity to write your questions that evening, and there'll be scrutineers to collate those questions and whatnot, so things are organized and flow as well.
Perfect. So people are able just to come, you wanting as many people as possible to come out here and listen and advocate. I'm sure there's a lot of different concerns when it comes to healthcare in this region, but from your perspective, what is the status of Lloydminster healthcare? Well,
there are a lot of things that have been going on or not going on for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And I refer to a 2013 facility assessment report that talked about all the health facilities within Lloydminster and whatnot, and it was an interesting read. And the consultant who prepared it, basically in their summary, talked that this area, or Lloydminster, was underserved for the population that we are. That was in 2013. I also note that the hospital was designed, and is over 30 years old, was designed for a population of 15,500. And we're over 34,000, 35,000 people, just the city, never mind the surrounding people. And we suggest that we're serving up to 100,000 people in our circle. And so, yes, there are issues nationwide since COVID that we've been in, but we've been suffering from this well before COVID and for decades. A lot of shortages here that just aren't being, looked after.
So you've been able to get people for these two meetings from both health authorities to come down here. Obviously, there are still issues, as you mentioned here, but how promising is it to be able to at least be able to have these people come down, hear the concerns, and hopefully address them further to where they need to be addressed?
Well, to their credit, last year there was actually very good representation from Saskatchewan Health and Alberta Health there the previous year, at least 6 representatives from each authority. This year, we're actually very pleased to suggest that Andrew Will, who is the CEO of Saskatchewan Health, and also Derek Miller, who is the Chief Operating Officer, these folks are at the top of the chain. They have the checkbook in the drawer. They will be coming. And so very, very excited, plus a lot of the main managers who look after health affairs in our region. And we have representatives from from Alberta, I should say, here as well.
Finally, let's just go through what we mentioned already, that it's going to be taking place on September the 7th. Can you go through a little bit about where it's going to be and the time, just so we can get that information out to people? Yes,
well, it's the facility is the old arena in Lloydminster called the Centennial Civic Center. A lot of people know it's by the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds.
Yeah.
It's on the 2nd floor. It does have wheelchair accessibility through an elevator. I believe it holds well over 200 people.
Starts at 6:30?
The doors open at 6:30 and the program starts at 7 o'clock.
There you go, perfect. Well, thank you so much.
So don't be late.
There you go, get in there. I'm sure it's going to be a busy hall. Hopefully there's people from not just Lloyd, like you're mentioning, but around the region. Paul, it was great to have you come in and talk about this, and best of luck with the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Some beautiful shots there,
2030s, I'm so sad. That's so not for a while.
Yeah, a little while longer, but it seems like it was a nice one last time.
Yeah,
right?
that looked absolutely gorgeous. Couldn't imagine. Probably kind of so big to your eye that you're like, what is that? Oh my gosh, that's the moon.
That's the freaking moon right there. And I'm sure there's people that might have taken photos around here, so I'm sure you'd appreciate them to send them in if that's
yes,
the case.
100%. I know we don't have our news page right now, but you can email it at weather@stingray.com.
Yeah.
That is the one. Email,
that is
right?
it, yes.
Yes, I always want to make sure I get that right. But yes,
please. A lot of new stuff going on.
Please, yes, I would love to get some more weather photo submissions. Always love using them, so it's been kind of hard now, but make sure you can email. I will definitely use them. Yeah.
Now when it talks about weather, it was another nice-ish day here in Lloydminster. Things are going to warm up though, I think, hey?
100%. So we are still seeing kind of a nice day for today as we kind of are getting closer to the long weekend here. So we're just sitting at 26 degrees here in the border city. We are seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud. We haven't been seeing as much sun as we'd like. I know it was looking kind of gloomy yesterday, and that's been kind of continuing into today. So we are hopefully going to see a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds as we head into the long weekend. But for the temperature is still quite warm, so I think everybody is still enjoying it. It is still beautiful, so hopefully everybody is having a nice day. Now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are just sitting at those mid-20 temperatures. So we have slightly cooled down from what we have been seeing starting off this week. Most spots are just sitting around 24 and 25 degrees, and then we have some that are slightly cooler. 23 in some of these areas with Wainwright up in Bonnyville and Lac La Biche. We have 22 down in Provost and over in Vegreville and up in St. Paul, and 21 over in Edmonton. So Edmonton is looking at the coolest condition on our Alberta side. Going over to our Saskatchewan side now, they are kind of matching with us with those temperatures on our Alberta side, but they're looking slightly warmer in most of their spots. Most are just sitting at that 25-degree mark, so just reaching those mid-20s. Looking at 23 for St. Walburg and down in Macklin as they are looking slightly cooler. We have 26 over in Maidstone, so Maidstone is looking at the nicest temperature on our Saskatchewan side, and North Battleford is quite the opposite. North Battleford has cooled down, and they're just reaching that 20-degree mark. They will be going down to a low of 13 for their evening low temperature. So still seeing a nice warm evening low. They are going to be looking at those double digits once again, and mostly expecting more of a calm evening. They won't be seeing a high chance of precipitation. Then for their Friday, they'll be looking at a daytime high of 27, so they will kick it up a notch as they kind of head into the long weekend, and they are expecting a day filled of a mixture of some sun and clouds, so should be a beautiful Friday for North Battleford. Cold Lake tonight will be going down to a low of 14, so they will be expecting those double digits for tonight, a nice temperature. They are expecting more of a calm evening, won't be seeing a high chance of rainfall. Then they will be looking at 24 for their daytime high for their Friday, so slightly cooler from what we kind of wanted. I think they are going to be seeing still a beautiful day because they are expecting to have plenty of sunshine. So should be gorgeous for Cold Lake. For us here in the border city, we will be going down to a low of 13, so we are going to be seeing those double digits once again for tonight. We are expecting more of a calm evening. We won't be seeing too much precipitation. Then for our Friday, we will be looking at a daytime high of 26, so we will be kind of matching with what we saw today. Hopefully we will be seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds, because I think that'll be a nice way to head into the long weekend. And now taking a look into our long weekend here as we kind of go past our Friday, we will be looking at those mid-20s. Continue on, we will be seeing that 26 for our Friday, of course. Then we will be seeing that continue into our Saturday, so we should have a beautiful Saturday here in the border city. And we won't be cooling down by too much once we reach Sunday, so be prepared. Make sure you got lots of outdoor activities planned for your long weekend. That's all I have for now. For a first look at your weather forecast.
Looking good, Shelby. Thank you for that. Stay with us. More controversy surrounding Saskatchewan's new school gender identity policy. That's next. With college starting up again, that also means that college sports will be beginning as well. Our Thomas Wildman heard from many wrestlers players about their excitement for the upcoming season.
Very excited, very ready to do some work, do some damage.
Starting up right away will be men's and women's soccer on September 9th, and the men expect to be a much stronger team this year.
Yeah, we are almost done with the preseason, so there are like few days left, and we are very excited because we are a good team for this season, and I think we'll make great things.
While soccer is getting its regular season underway, the women's hockey team will be playing some exhibition games and then preparing for their second season in the ACAC when it begins October 7th.
I think we're so ready to come back and take on the year. Our team is looking very strong this year, and we've been skating in the summer, and I'm just really excited to kick it off and just come out really strong with these exhibition games coming up.
Then shortly after, on October 13th, the men and women's basketball and volleyball teams will begin their regular season, with the men's volleyball team looking to continue to climb the ranks.
Looking forward to a great year. You know, we definitely have some new players in our team, but I think, you know, a lot of our competition lost some players as well. So I think I'm very excited and optimistic about our year, and it's an exciting time to be a wrestler.
On the other hand, the women's volleyball team has to defend not only the ACAC championship, but the CCAA championship as well. But with a majority of the core returning, as well as some new recruits, the team is poised to do well again.
Coming off of last year was just really good because, I mean, obviously a national win is a national win. I'm just really excited to get, see everyone again and get it all back together, so it's going to be a good year.
Once winter hits, the soccer teams won't be finished as they will transition into futsal, which is indoors during the new year.
Futsal is very important because, like in the winter, of course, we can't play soccer, but we can keep competing and fight for titles.
Yeah, it's just good to be able to always compete throughout the whole year, so we're not taking that much off. And it's just another activity that's fun for us to do so we can represent Lakeland in a different way.
Rowing, curling, and rodeo will also be competing at various events and tournaments over the coming months. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Darcy Wildman with the Lloydminster Kingsman Club. Thank you so much for joining us today, Darcy.
Thanks for having me, Shelby.
No problem at all, because we're speaking on a big event coming up here now. It's not for a bit now, but we really wanted to speak and help get the word out well ahead of time. So this is the Harvest Hoedown Cabaret. So this sounds like it's going to be a good one. And for people that may not have, had the chance to check it out last year, can you kind of explain what this is all about?
It is. This is our second year doing it. It's a we just want it to be a fun evening for everybody. We bring in two bands. This year we're bringing in a local band called Main Street out of Cold Lake, and a band by the name of Trick Rider from Calgary. And Trick Rider's no stranger to Lloyd. They used to be around here quite often in the nightclubs back in the day, and they're still just an amazing group to listen to. Our focus, I guess, on the whole Harvest Hoedown thing is just show some appreciation for our agriculture community, our agriculture dealers, and of course our farmers themselves. They're huge in this area. It's a farming district as well, and we just want to show some appreciation to them and want everybody to come out and have a good time. And no strings attached, no silent auction, no live auction. Come and buy your ticket and come out and enjoy the evening. There's a midnight lunch, beef on a bun, and just a great time.
And of course, we know the agricultural community is huge here, so I think this is a really great idea. Now, how was response at last year's event?
Last year was an amazing response. We sold out just over 550 tickets. I really like to see that again this year. It's like I say, it's any money we make as a club, we put back into the community anyway. So it's not like people are wasting their money type thing. So we just look forward to people coming out, buying the tickets, supporting us, and in turn supporting the community.
And now for people that, weren't able to attend last year's event, what can you say people can expect for this year's cabaret?
Well, the doors open at 7, and the actual band starts, the first band starts at 8 and goes till about 10:30. And then the second band starts, and the music is everything from classic rock to some old country to some current country to even a little bit of everything. Like, it's both bands play everything, so it's a wide variety for everybody. Every genre is looked after. Everybody will have a good time. If you don't, it's your own fault.
Yes, I would be shocked as well if you went to this great event. It sounds like it's going to be fun and you didn't have a good time. So that is very true. Now, when will the cabaret be taking place?
Date takes place Saturday, October 21st at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds in the Stockade Convention Center. And like I say, last year we sold out, and we've got a very good start on ticket sales already for this year. So we're probably sitting at I'm guessing 20% sold already. So we're over 100 tickets sold already, and we've just basically started advertising. So I think it'll be a sellout again. So.
Well, Darcy, I think this sounds very exciting, and I think those tickets will definitely be selling out pretty soon here. So for people wanting more information on where to get tickets and all that, where can they find some more information online?
Yes, they can reach out to the Lloyd Kinsman Club on Facebook. The posters are out, or on the information is on our Facebook pages. It'll be hitting the newspaper fairly soon. It'll be hitting the radio fairly soon. Reach out to myself. My cell is 780-871-4818, or any Kinsman member, or you can stop down at Matrix Accounting Office. Mark's got tickets down there. So yeah, everybody knows a Kinsman member. So.
Perfect. Well, I think it's great. We could talk well ahead of time and help get the word out. Now, is there anything else you'd like to add that I may have missed out on that you want to let people know more about for this event?
Well, I would just like to thank our presenting sponsors. Without sponsorship, a lot of this is very hard to do. We also my main focus was to keep the ticket price low enough so it's affordable to everybody. So I do want to shout out to Redhead Equipment and Young's Equipment, as well as Novelin Brothers. They were sponsors last year, and they jumped right on board again this year and said yes for sure. And like I say, just a huge thank you to them for stepping up and helping us out with the cost to keep the cost down for the individuals.
And as usual, Lloydminster always knows how to show that great support for these events. So that's really awesome to hear. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Darcy. And hopefully we'll talk again soon when the event comes a bit closer. So thank you.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks for inviting us, Shelby.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by Brett Kissel, a very well-known name in this area, and we've had him on our show several times. So thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you, Abby. I really appreciate it. It's great to have a conversation with you.
Yes, I'm very excited for this, and I'm also very excited that you will be here on September 7th. The Vic Juba is holding a Crank It Up Cabaret, and you will be one of the main performers, which is very exciting. Tell me a little bit about this cabaret and what people can expect from your performance.
Well, I'm thrilled that they've invited me to come and do this. And there's been a little bit of confusion, though, Abby, over the fact that the Vic Juba is putting on the concert, but it's not at the Vic Juba. It's at the X. Because, we've been very lucky. We played the Vic Juba, many times, especially as I was coming up through the ranks. And we just know that we want to have a cabaret. We want to have a big party. So because of that, it's going to be an incredible night of country music at the X. So it's Vic Juba presents Brett Kissel, the Crank It Up Cabaret at the X. And me and my band are very, very excited to come back to Lloyd and to throw down and have the party that we're all expecting it's going to be.
Yes, for sure. I did talk to the Vic Juba months ago about this, and it is very exciting for them to be able to hold such a big event at the X for the Vic Juba. So it's very exciting that now we're getting very, very close to it. You did mention that you have performed at the Vic Juba, but now you're going to be on a bigger stage, bigger setting at the X. So how exciting is it for you to be able to do that?
I think it's awesome to get a chance to come home because I grew up in St. Paul, Alberta. So we have a lot of friends and a lot of family that are coming to Lloyd to see the show. My wife, Cecilia, has partnered with an incredible company and formed a really great friendship with a company out of Marwayne called Beauty from Bees. And so Michelle and her team out there, we know we're going to host them all for a great party. So it's going to be really, really cool to have a lot of people from Kitscotty and Neilburg and Marwayne and Paradise Hill and a bunch of these communities actually come into Lloyd for a great cabaret. And also what I've noticed, Abby, is that after playing, in so many different cities across Canada and around the world over the last 10 years, even though it's a Thursday night, I know that small town people can actually party harder and have more fun on a Thursday than most city people can have on a Friday or a Saturday. So I'm excited to hit the stage for everybody, in my home neck of the woods.
I'm sure a lot of people really appreciate that because not everybody can travel to big cities to see their favorite artists in concert. And now you have this project that you just started. It's called Compass Project, which includes a multiple album release. The first one being the South album, and then you had just released the East album back in the spring. So tell me a little bit about the Compass Project and where it's going from here now that you have already released two of them.
Well, the Compass Project is a 4-album package of all these amazing subgenres of country music. And I love the genre of country music with all my heart. So North, East, South, and West are 4 different albums, again, under the umbrella of country music, where the South album was the needle of the compass, really pointing to Nashville. So you have this great new country album. Well, the East album that came out in the spring was a singer-songwriter album. And it truly talks about my love for the storytelling that really comes from the East Coast. Now, the West album that'll come out this fall is true blue country and Western. I'm talking traditional steel guitar and twin fiddles and all of these great topics and themes. So that's what the West album will be. And then the North album is really where the compass points north to my North Star, which is as an entertainer performing in Canada all my career. So what's great about that album is it's a greatest hits package. All of my songs, but they're the live versions that we've recorded over the years across Canada. So one of my songs, call it 3-2-1. Well, I recorded that version live from the Calgary Stampede. There's another one of my songs called Drink About Me. Well, the version that we selected was when I did the drive-in concerts and invented that model in Edmonton. Then you've got, Anthem live from Halifax. You've got Tough Times Don't Last, Tough People Do live from the Palace Grand in Dawson City, Yukon. So it's a really cool tip of my cowboy hat to the north.
Yes, that actually sounds like a very unique project, and I think it's such a great project to have for your fans. So where can people find the South and East albums, and when are the final albums coming out as well?
You can find it obviously very easily on Spotify, Apple Music, you go to YouTube or Amazon, Pandora, like wherever you stream your music, right? So I'm very, very excited that people can take a deep dive into that just on your phone and go on a road trip and enjoy the material and all of this great music. And we don't have a date just yet for the West or for the North, but we know it's going to be shortly after the Canadian Country Music Awards, which are actually coming up here September, 15, 16, 17. So that weekend of September, we're going to focus on the award show, getting a chance to enjoy our time in Hamilton. But as soon as that's done, then we know that we're going to be have a much clearer runway to release the music in late September and into October, November, and of course before Christmas.
Awesome. I'm sure people are very excited to hear this new music coming from you and the different albums that are going to be releasing coming here shortly. And I'm sure a lot of people are very excited for September 7th, for you performing here and for your Compass project. I think that's fantastic, and I hope it's a huge success for you. So thank you so much for joining me today.
No, it's my pleasure, and can't wait to see everybody at this Crank It Up Cabaret for a great party on September the 7th.
And now, Shelby, this next story out of Nebraska is one you have to see for yourself to believe.
That's what I had to do for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy here. Someone got stopped for driving with a full-size bull riding shotgun. Police responded to a call of a man driving with a bull in his passenger seat, and you can see it right there. The driver of the vehicle was identified as Lee Meyer. His passenger, the bull, was named Howdy Doody, and the pair were immediately pulled over, and an officer performed a routine traffic stop to address the clear violations there related to transport of an animal. The officer gave him a warning to take the animal back home and leave the city. Neither driver nor animal were hurt, and both have returned home safely, but
that's crazy.
Not something you see every day, hey?
No, yeah, you definitely have to see it to believe it. I couldn't imagine being one of the drivers on the road and passing by that.
I know, because you were saying too, like they can't be going fast on the highway.
No,
with
you
that
wouldn't want to go
weight.
fast. Yeah, and that's so much blockage of where you can see. That's so dangerous.
Because it's not just the big animal, you got those big horns too.
Exactly.
Craziness.
Crazy.
That's all the time we have for Primetime Local News. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. Good night.